Marathon, as we know, has a bad reputation since its first announcement back in 2023 because of Bungie's mishaps in the past with the mistakes made in Destiny 2. And a lot of complaints come from the world building, with people saying the game design is lazy. But I don't think people understand why Bungie made the choice of the bright colors and a bleak design for the architecture. But we as the players are failing to understand that this game is the future, 800 years in the future. And what do you think modernism is? It's bleak and minimal. That's the design, and it's mesh of the beautiful worlds filled with lush and nature appearing to be thriving, but the future of consumerism is blank. And the future is minimal and optimal, just the bare minimum. That's the atmosphere Bungie's trying to portray to us. This is the direction of humanity that we've paved for ourselves, buildings, architecture, and culture just lost to the ages. And this game isn't lazy, it's the opposite, and that's what the future holds for us. Even down to the musical score, it's a blend of human voices mixed with the electronic music and advancements in technology, creating that duality. And onto the topic of untrustworthiness that has come from Destiny is very understandable. With over 30 days in this game, I haven't even been playing the game very consistently, only returning when an update caught my attention, but leaving once I beat the content I wanted to see. Even with Renegades somewhat intriguing me once I beat the main story, just grinding the same sabotage missions for a different lightsaber color makes me want to shoot myself. But I believe the lack of engaging content in Destiny is because Bungie is putting most of their resources to Marathon, and clearly if they're prioritizing this game over their already successful title, it's probably worth it. And I might be in over my head, but I'm going to pre-order this game. Another issue for this game is that I've heard countless times already, it's the oversaturated hero shooter genre and the extraction shooter, which both are pretty valid concerns. But what this game aims at differently isn't just the naming of the heroes, but the name Shell envelops the player more into the game. Because technically you're not playing a character per se, but a remnant of them, and from the trailers we see the Shells not exactly having names, but call signs, and forgetting who they were over each reboot. Another huge concern is that of the stolen art scandal, which was a very, very lazy shortcut by Bungie, but still inexcusable, but later was confirmed to be resolved with the artist. And by the time I post this video, this game's already hit the number 5 spot on Steam's wish list, which is a great thing to see. But a large portion of people want to see this game's downfall. And the main complaint I keep hearing is who's the main audience for the game. And I see where these people are coming from, because it is a total mix from driving the game direction to being an extraction shooter, which a lot of casual players don't like the idea of losing progress from making one mistake and dying, then having to restart all over again. But this game can pull more of a casual audience if the learning curve in this game isn't too excessive, which also leads to my next point. The shells actually create a more welcoming introduction to the game. And most people that play games consistently have most likely played a hero shooter. And at one point, they can already have some semblance of familiarity to the game already with the shells. Games like Tarkov, which if you probably know is an extraction shooter and has a very steep learning curve that turns casuals away from the game because you need an extensive amount of understanding before you can even enjoy the game. This game with the loot so far isn't very complex from what I've seen so far. It's just been attachments, mods, and just very surface level stuff to the game. But I genuinely believe that this game will attract a lot more players than anticipated, especially with the vibrant colors, and Bungie's well-known PvP feel is going to be incredible. And the game's design down to the shell silhouettes, inferring the capabilities of each character, like Destroyer being the tanky aggressive character, or Blackbird having a huge visor implying that she's like the intel gatherer. It's just phenomenal character design. And the guns are literally so simple, you don't have to guess what kind of weapon you're picking up. And I truly believe that this game has the capability of taking over the shooter genre like Fortnite did back in 2018. Not to the same extent, but somewhat similar. And I think Bungie might find that sweet spot of making the game complex enough for people who will dig a little deeper, and has a spot for all audience, which Fortnite excelled at for so long. And as much as we want to say it's dead, it still has retained a lot of its player base. I think this game will be like playing Destiny 1 again, and Bungie has disappointed its investors like Sony quite a lot. So I know that they're putting all their blood, sweat, and tears into this, and I have a very good feeling it'll be worth it. This game truly can appease all of its audience, all the way from the story game lovers who want to play and discover the new lore about how the human race got to this point and colonies being wiped out, to the hardcore PvP players who want to find new mechanics with movement, and Bungie excels at simple movement systems with additives like mods to your shell to bring more flair and just push that threshold of skill gap, similar to the Icarus dash from Destiny 2 and etc. But this just really, really helps elevate the choices of the player and giving the player more skill expression. This game will have a huge skill gap, but it still is. Bungie is just great at that kind of friendly appeal to the new players. But the main worry I have for this game is going to be the content after the game releases and settles in. What's going to be next? Will there be new guns, new mods each season, maybe even new shells? Another issue might be repetitiveness, and hopefully it takes a decent amount of time to get to the other maps after a certain loot or level requirement, which we do know is confirmed with the ante now to reach those new spaces, especially in the new ranked mode that's going to release. But I do hope they add a lot of new items to keep the gameplay fresh and to keep the player base engaged. But I'm sure Bungie can make that search for better gear extremely appealing as long as they don't make acquiring the specific item torture like in Destiny 2. And honestly, I think if the company turns away from the Destiny approach towards loot, I think Bungie's already 10 steps ahead from where they were. Bungie's also making great changes regarding player feedback and is giving me hope for this game, especially with the newest edition of Rook, who gives a new player a low-risk character who can only access ongoing games to scavenge for loot and extract without losing anything. This is a great addition for someone who had a really bad previous run or is just trying to get an understanding of the game. Instead of blindly hating on this game because of Bungie's mistakes in Destiny 2, it's very easy to see that this company is really trying to make this game unlike other companies like Activision with Black Ops 7 just releasing shit every year. And this game really does have the potential to be a game that we could be playing for years on end. But if you enjoyed, please give this game a try. And thank you all for watching. And if you enjoyed, please subscribe and leave a comment. And have a wonderful day.